Well, here we are, back with another Back Post episode. You know, my favourite thing about football is that no matter what happens to any team, the joke is somehow always on Spurs.
Oh, starting with Spurs, Chelsea-Arsenal yesterday, I'm sure starting with Spurs.
Yes.
It's crazy work, but...
We have to. You're the only person around this table that's lost.
But before we get back into it, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're aiming to hit 10,000 subscribers before the start of the new year, so that would help us out massively. Let's get back to it.
Back-to-back weeks, you're the only person around this table that's lost.
This might be the worst start that a person has ever had to a podcast in their life. 5-3 PSG, 4-1 against Arsenal, 2-1 loss against Fulham.
And Eze being that one.
And Eze it's been
generational
for me.
It's absolutely generational.
You two draw.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't really even sit there and
I can't
jab it for reverse, can you?
Still on me. I'm the only one who's lost.
Draw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think that was a game where I look at now, I'm like, we should have won that game.
It's a great opportunity for you.
It was a great opportunity. We were the better team. Even with 10, I'm pretty annoyed. Like, our best player for like a long time now was the one that actually ultimately let us down. It was a silly tackle, but I think I don't know. I think people after the last week, a lot of what we've heard of this player's better than that, or how close are they? Arsenal the best team in the world? Except I think yesterday very much proved like these are gettable.
Yeah,
I did think yesterday was a good incentive for the rest of the league to be like
that. Genuinely, that should have been a signal to. And look, a lot of the teams in the league, I don't think are good enough to do it. But that should have been a signal to be like, yeah, you actually can get at Arsenal. We're not used to having teams put it on us in the way that you did. And when you do that, we can be gotten at. And I do think there's some context to that in terms of like it was the end of a very intense week for us. But they'll be called excuses, whatever. The point was Chelsea played it like a cup final, were well up for it. Possibly in the case of Caicedo, a little bit too up for it, and maybe that cost him. But yeah, I think it's a weird one because I think like we're both disappointed with the draw, but for different reasons. You're disappointed because actually you were probably the better team.
You guys are disappointed with the red card.
Who was the point actually better for then? Do you think?
I think probably Arsenal.
I think because of the red card, it is us. I think it's a more impressive feat. But I think for Arsenal, in terms of, it is.
No,
I'm not wrong, am I?
No.
But as in terms of who'll be happy, I think Arsenal will think we've got away with one. Really.
Yeah, I think
before the game, I'd have said the point would have been better for. Personally, the way
I know, but that's because we don't realise we are good. Like
you're good.
This last week, I said we'll beat Bath.
It didn't show on the day. Fair enough, and you played brilliant.
When I say there's a 5% chance of winning, I do mean it. There was no way Arsenal were winning that game against us at the Bridge. I just didn't think that was going to be the case. I think it clearly showed that first half where they couldn't get a touch of the ball, they couldn't get out their own half.
You did batter them in the first 35 minutes, and I was like, this game is only going one way.
I think you saw a little taste of like, all right, that's Arsenal without Gabriel and Sleep. I think that's a factor, but we're doing this without our best player, without our best centre back. We've had that all season. We've been dealing with it. They got one game, and you saw like, is the level that far apart between these two teams? I thought it was interesting.
So how disappointed were you in Caicedo then?
Very, very genuinely. Like, I mean, it's obviously his first career red. It's just like, why have you done that? You know, like I don't have a problem with that being a red. The only thing that was annoying was the other week when Bentancur did this.
Yeah, the lack of consistency.
But Caicedo has also done that tackle before, got away with it. So
that's the issue. That actually like. Are they all reds? Yeah, they are all reds, but give them all as reds. You know what I mean?
It's a fair enough argument.
Consistency will always be a problem.
Both should have been a reds rather than both.
Yeah, if you set that precedent, it's a shame to ruin that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. I would blame him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I saw his like 35-minute highlight reel. He was running around like a madman, and there was
I like that though. Like you like that he lives on the edge like that. I want him to leave a bit of a mark and look like, he's got that wrong. That's the first time he's been sent off. It's not some like, I'm not going to be.
Yeah. Also, the narrative before the game, he dominated the narrative along with Declan Rice naturally, and I do think that in a game like that, big game, Sky Sports, everyone watching, you could tell that he wanted to leave his mark on the game.
Yeah.
But he's done that so many times before. I constantly think with Caicedo, he gets lucky sometimes and not get booked in games after making continuous fouls because he also wins the ball so much.
He does, but he also does get yellows where he's won it as well. It works both ways. I think, like you said, he was very fired up. He leaves his mark. It's a bit higher than he would have liked to have left it, and he gets a red for it.
It's a fine margin. The most embarrassing thing was the way he's rolled around after.
Yeah, that
is
was
actually
Marino did a few somersaults on.
But Marino had a reason to. He kicked it off.
Sell it, try and get.
But what was Caicedo trying to sell?
It's so embarrassing.
No one's about it.
I don't know.
It was
trying to sell it if you're not
but
going to tell me off, I'm injured.
Yeah, I think there is a fine line though, and I think from an Arsenal perspective, I probably wanted to see a little bit more of that. Like we were really looking intensity, and I get that to an extent in terms of maybe you go there, you try and take the sting out of the game, but we never really got the opportunity to do that, especially because early doors we kept trying to fizz it through the middle of the park on the ground. You were cutting it out well, so then we started trying to go long. We weren't winning the first ball, weren't winning most of the second balls, and it became a really what are we actually going to do? You were on top of us, creating chances, so. It was tough, and then the disappointing thing for me was that when you got that red card, I was like, right, now we take control. Now we play our game. We will be able to play it through the midfield, and we still didn't really do that. And I felt we really needed Ødegaard, and I thought when he came on, we did get it down a little bit more. He did just settle on the ball.
Yeah.
But by that point, we were 1-0 down, which obviously made it a lot more difficult. So. Yeah, you played it like a cup final, which people use that like a derogatory thing, like, that was your cup final.
Do that every week.
Yeah, you probably win the game without the red cards, and at that point you go, fair play to them. Arsenal couldn't get themselves up for it in the same way. And so, I'm like, 35 minutes in before the red card, if you said this will end in a draw, I'd have been like, I'll take that. We've played poorly, take the draw. Yeah. We're 5 points clear of City, 6 points clear of you, move on.
Yeah.
Is it getting concerning now? Because that's Liverpool, City and us. I don't think Arsenal have turned up in any of them.
I thought we turned up against City. I thought we outplayed City for the vast majority of it.
I wouldn't say it was some amazing performance where they were creating chances, etc. I don't think the City's the best of those three. I don't think they've been at their best in any of them.
Perhaps not. I mean,
it is a recurring thing now.
It is, and it's easy to blame injuries. Like, we went into the Liverpool game, we lose Saliba basically before the game, but 5 minutes into the game. We lose him in the final training session before this game. We hadn't had Ødegaard in either the Liverpool game or this game until he came out. Like,
we've had up.
No, everyone has injuries for sure. It would be nice to see us at full strength, and also it was the end of a mad intense North London derby. I know you had Barca, but you rotated against Burnley.
We rotated sensibly, but we had a Club World Cup that everyone was saying was going to impact us during the season. No, but everyone said that would kill the season, did they not?
We said banning Club World Cup chat. No,
but I think that's a worthy point. I do think going into the season there was a lot of chat about how that would make us really slow and slow. We've had extra football. I didn't think that you saw that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I mean, 10. That's something that maybe we'll circle back to at the end of the season. Like, you don't know how sort of the long-term effect of not having that summer. It's not seemingly it's not hit you yet. Does it? When
I think it did. In terms of the Colwills and the Palmers, we have had injuries. We've just managed it really well. I think our manager has.
You both got deep squads.
Yeah, we've got deep squads. Yeah, that's why. I don't want to talk too much about injuries, but in terms of us being at full flow, it wasn't the game for us. And
Reece James though.
Oh my God! Best player on the pitch by a mile, in my opinion. He's when he's on it like that, he's one of the most influential football players in the world. I think in terms of how he can influence a game. It was actually a joke. He was everywhere, midfield, popping up in the right channels as well, going forward, back, settled the Timber and Reece.
As a Timber fan, well, my word, the fact that we were comparing those, it was laughable to me because they're just on different planets as footballers. They are on different planets. Good dude. Good dude. Good right back. But I'm watching.
Met him, have you?
I actually felt sorry for Saka. I thought Saka did really well to create the goal, because it looked like he's going to put it on his right. Yeah. Zach actually cutting back, did really well. But I felt like Timber offered him nothing on that side.
The Timber didn't have the greys.
Absolutely nothing.
He's been brilliant this season.
Very good defensively. But again, in terms of that intensity, he's had a massive week against Bayern and in the North London derby. So
it does make a difference. Yeah,
I'm not going to grill him. You could look at Arteta and say, we've got Ben White. Could he have been rotated in for one of those games so that we've got a fresher squad? Maybe.
Against the Burnley and Spurses, you've got to rotate.
Yeah. But this is the thing, right?
But
Enzo Maresca after the game yesterday said Reece James won't play against Leeds, so he is playing once a week. Maybe if Timber was playing,
how good is it for him to be? He's been fit. I think that's got to be massive credit from Maresca. Kept him fit for a year, and is now at that point.
One of the most impressive things he's done is having a player that we've had constantly out,
and he feels like he's back to a physical peak. peak now as well. In terms of for like 6 months, I'd say really lacking physically. You can still see the quality there, being protected quite a lot, playing in midfield. Yesterday, he was like, I don't know about the like running stats or anything, but it felt like
he was everywhere.
He
was.
Yeah,
I think that comes from as well, like confidence in your own body. Like when you've had so many injuries, I think he's getting to the point where he's like very confident in his own body, which massively helps. I mean, I thought Timber was good. It was the same with Declan Rice. I thought Declan Rice had a really good game. He's been getting sort of slander after the game.
I thought he had nothing.
He made a goal-stopping tackle on Neto. Even going the other way. Going the other way, the best chance for us of the first half was him making a lung-busting run, played that 1-2 with Martinelli. Martinelli gets the shot off.
That was offside, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, Lino put his flag up for that.
I don't know.
If you're enjoying this video, the full episode is out now on all podcast platforms. Link is in the description. Yeah.
No, maybe they'll show that on
I just feel like
we were that way.
It's
almost a good thing that Declan Rice is getting criticised for that kind of performance from your point of view.
That's his base level.
That's if that is how high standards are, that is now viewed as a game that people criticise him for.
I've seen more praise. People were saying like he was the only Arsenal player that turned up, and I thought if that's him turning up, like.
I've seen a lot of Caicedo won the Rice debate, despite the fact he got sent off in the 35th.
Yeah, that for me is mad because if it was if Rice had got himself sent off like that, it would have been fed.
I would be, but I'd also say like in that 30 minutes, I thought Caicedo had more impact on the end than Rice did.
Yeah, but I think Arsenal were under the
didn't do anything the whole game.
I do think you know.
Reece James was the one you walked away from midfield. You went, that guy dominated the game.
Yeah, that's the thing. Reece James won the Caicedo Rice.
Yeah, he did.
Completely. I think it also didn't help that Zubimendi had one of his worst games for us. I think Zubimendi is. You look at that game. I think he is someone that when the game is taken to us in midfield, maybe he is still just
a bit of a weak point.
Yeah, I thought you learn a bit more. I said, does Nkapie exist against Spurs? Because I just don't think Spurs are the barometer to go against. And I did think you looked more susceptible. I think naturally,
100%, but that's a centre back pairing that have played one game together previously. Which
you've got a couple of
Mosquera's 21, Nkapie 20.
We've heard about how amazing the squad depth is, so I don't think
squad depth is still great.
You can't. It's decent. This is something that's been annoying. This is something that's been annoying me because people go whenever we get any injuries, everyone's like, "Oh, but your squad depth is amazing," but that's not saying if you bring in one of those, like we've brought in Nkapie alongside Saliba, looked great. Mosquera,
I'm not doubting this. What I'm saying
when you have to change both of them.
I feel like we've heard that Arsenal's backup team would come top 4 and stuff like that. So I kind of think, well,
but if they develop that partnership playing with each other over a longer period, it is difficult. I mean, we had both of our centre backs out for the majority of last season, and our backup. But that's what I'm saying is like. The relationship takes time to form with centre backs.
Yeah, but that is the point, right?
Yeah,
you finished 17th. We drew away at Stamford Bridge. Yeah. Like it wasn't a criminal performance.
You took that draw and you were happy with that draw against 10 men. I
thought yesterday.
I just think for all week that we heard this is the best team in the world. They're gonna show up at Stamford Bridge. They're gonna do this, and it was like, no, you're not. And then the whole game showed, no, you're not.
Yeah,
I just think
fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
I don't know. I found it interesting. I think like that's back-to-back away games. They've dropped points now. City did get their job done.
True. Yeah.
Like I thought that was the most susceptible Arsenal looks was yesterday. And even like you said, they walked away with a draw. But I think the fact that they'll be thankful they walked away with a draw against 10 men against a team that if you had said midweek after 30 minutes Chelsea would be down to 10, Arsenal fans would be saying we'll win that 3 or 4-0.
Yeah, no, you are right, and it was a bad day.
But I mean, it is possible. It is possible that good teams have bad days. I think that was a bad day. But you look midweek against Bayern, who are the best team in Europe,
going into it. Yeah,
without Luis Diaz, we had no striker, still no Gabriel.
Marino's better than your strikers. He
did so this is a very I mean, we can get into that sort of like Marino's better, or is Arteta getting the best out of him? Like
City, Liverpool. And Chelsea now, and I just don't think they've looked impressive in any of those games. I think
they're not bad.
I think that other teams should be looking at yesterday, particularly ourselves, and being like, no, you should be taking this seriously. They're not that amazing.
Well, that's what annoyed me so much about the North London derby last week is that like the amount of respect we showed to Arsenal in a game like that was utter insanity.
When we went down to 10, we still offered a threat. You don't have to sit back and wait to lose these games.
Exactly, and that showed a big mentality difference between a team like Spurs and a team like Chelsea. I do think you are like mentally in a really strong place as a squad right now.
They're believing in themselves a lot more.
And I do think you are almost, for the squad that you've got and the players that you're putting out, like especially your centre-back partnership, some of your midfield, like your attack as well, like Neto, Garnacho. Like I do think you are slightly overperforming actually for like what your squad
got it a lot better yesterday because one of the worst things he's done actually like this whole time was that United game where we got a red card and he brought all his subs off and changed the game and when it was like You didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
And he learnt yesterday.
Yeah.
Like I
that's
thought
good.
everything
And you had a
pretty
threat.
sensible.
You had a threat the whole time. Like it didn't really feel like you. It felt like you had 10 men, but it didn't feel like it was a game where Arsenal were just going to have 80% of the ball and you're going to sit in and just
feel like we
cry.
were waiting to lose.
Yeah.
No,
definitely.
I still felt we were offering something and containing that. I thought we contained Arsenal pretty well. Like I said, I think Saka did really well to get that cross off. But other than that, it wasn't like.
I mean, that was the one. If we want to try and like undermine all of the Arsenal players, Cucurella got bullied by Saka all game. Fouled him 4 times. Was booked within
I've watched the game. He got booked for winning the ball.
He went through Saka to win the ball, and he did that twice in the opening 10 minutes, which was why he got booked. Fouled him another couple of times after that. He got skinned another couple of times after that. Got skinned for the assist.
He didn't do anything until the second half. He didn't do a thing. He had no impact on the game until we went down to 10.
It's very difficult for a winger to do something when they're consistently fouled. Cucurella fouled him 4 times in the first half.
I was just gliding past Calafiori. How about you just beat him?
How about Esteval when the ball drops to him 8 yards out, doesn't blaze it into Rosette?
No, he didn't finish that.
And this is the difference.
That's not
clinical efficiency is the difference.
Saka had to wait to go down to 10 men to get involved in the game, and he got his first assist in the year.
See, that's why.
Look, it was the anniversary of his last assist. He got assist.
I'll
credit to him.
I'll forgive you.
It was exactly a year, wasn't it?
It was exactly a year. Yeah. He beat Cucurella once to get a cross off.
I'm not. You're in rage bet mode.
I'm not in rage bet mode. What else did he do in the game?
In the first half, Cucurella fouls him 4 times, which means in the second half he can't dare go near him, which is part of the reason he gets the assist in the first place.
No,
it's a 90-minute game.
With the assist.
It's a 90. But Cucurella is standing off him. He's nowhere near as touch tight as he was first half because he knows he's fouled him 4 times at this point.
Yeah,
it's a 90-minute game. And when it comes to clinical efficiency,
Taylor needs to give out yellows for fun, like he was doing at the start with both teams. By the way, Arsenal, he can.
Arsenal, both teams. Arsenal had 5 yellow cards from 6 fouls at one point.
No, it's Taylor.
First foul of both teams. But the point is with Saka, you said yourself Timber didn't provide him a huge amount of support. He was getting kicked off the park by Cucurella. Even in that first half, there was one moment he turns Cucurella into midfield, plays the ball out wide, creates a threatening attack.
There wasn't any threatening attack. There was one shot, I think, Saka had with pillow feet. It was like a George Scaife shot.
What, the right-footed one?
Yeah, it was. It was George Scaife.
Nothing.
But again, Saka shot forces a save from Sanchez. Esteval had 2 shots, both of them went.
No, but he also created chances. Esteval played into net.
Esteval was good. Esteval was lively. He was causing Calafiori problems, undoubtedly.
I think he was the only winger first half that I saw.
It's not worth arguing about Saka and Cucurella. Like, I don't think
that battle had a Cucurella because I didn't think Cucurella was. He didn't offer anything going forward, and I thought he struggled defensively.
I'd say because of the assist, Saka slightly got the better of him.
Exactly. Because of that assist, it now goes, he beat him. It's like he got the cross off well.
He didn't struggle defensively when he committed 4 fouls and didn't win the ball back once.
No, he did win the ball. The one he got booked, he didn't. Ball. Yeah, he did. I've watched the game back.
Honestly, I don't.
It's not worth arguing.
I don't really care. But the point is
you can't argue that strongly either way.
No, exactly. I wouldn't sit there and be like, he really struggled. I go, yeah, he did well. Saka did well because he's a good player to get the cross off. But that's all he offered.
And there are a couple of other moments. I thought Saka did really well a couple of times under pressure in his own half to sort of evade Cucurella trying to press him, because it's something that Cucurella does really well, pressing hard.
Yeah.
But I mean, given all of this, right? Given how much praise you've given Chelsea after the game, rightly so, and given how good you've been in the last week or so. Are you still maintaining you're in a title race rather than a top 4 race?
I think yesterday confirmed that we're more in a title race than I thought we were.
So you think you go toe-to-toe with Arsenal now for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think that gap's closing. I think yesterday would give Artie a lot more belief.
Yesterday, but
no, I know, but as in, I think the gap mentally where we are. I think
I do kind of agree with that.
Early season, that red card, we lose that game 100%. I think last year Arsenal would have smelt more blood, and they probably would have beaten us, especially with that red card. I think it showed yesterday that, especially this week, like Barcelona in that game, our squad shouldn't fear anyone. There's no reason why they should walk on every pitch and think they could beat every team. There's no reason. I
agree. I think it's really exciting. You've got Esteval now starting Prem games,
and Palmer.
I think Marissa
was on the bench yesterday.
Palmer coming back. Your team looks a whole lot scarier, especially. The worry I had for you was, if fine in big games, especially with like Neto and Garnacho in big games, pace on the break, great. Like against Barca, it was a great setup. But I think against lower blocks, against Sunderland, who came and sat in against you, looked really struggled in that game. But I think with Palmer back and with Esteval starting regularly, I think that solves a lot of the issue in those big games. So it's like, if you can start winning them and putting points on the board in those games consistently, I don't see any reason why you can't stay within touch.
Well, this is to convince people that you're in the title race, Because a game like yesterday is possible to do if you're that up for it.
Yeah.
To prove you're in the title race,
winning those other
is like you go away to Leeds midweek.
Yeah.
You got to go away there with no Caicedo and apparently no Reece James.
Yeah.
And you got to win that, and
then win Bournemouth away.
and then win
Yeah,
Bournemouth.
Leeds are poor as well.
Those sorts of games are the ones that will actually
Well,
dictate.
I think I said to you boys, it's like the Barcelona and the Arsenals were not the games. Like, I'm worried about the December with Leeds, Bournemouth, Everton.
Yeah.
Like they're the ones that we famously at the moment.
Chelsea fan on Twitter got flamed on Sky. I think we spoke about this last week
not
for
worried
that
about
point.
Burnley,
And she
and it
was
was
spot
fair.
on. She had a moment yesterday. She was like, "There you go." That's why I was more concerned about that game. And arguably, I mean, you played well against Burnley, but that was arguably your worst performance out of the 3 games. You played really, really well against
There was
both
more
Arsenal and
from
Barca.
the other 2 games.
Yeah, great.
I think you're a much better team. Having played you and City, admittedly slightly different circumstances, you gave us a much more difficult game than City did.
Yeah, you're better than City.
It's interesting because you still play them twice this season, so that'll be again a really good test as to where you're at. Because if you can beat them in both of those games, or take 4 points off them, maybe that'll be a big statement as to we are the second
team that will be.
Exactly.
This
no, 100%. I agree. I think Chelsea finished second this season. I think based on what I've seen at the start of this season now, City nearly faltering again at the weekend, which we'll get onto a little bit later. But I mean, I think Chelsea, good side.
Yeah, we're coming. It does feel like we're coming.
I think you'll be there. You'll be there or thereabouts. I think that, and that's probably why I take the draw, because at least we've maintained that 6-point gap to you. Like a win, a win would have been big in terms of like 7 points ahead of City and 9 ahead of you. That would have been big, but we didn't deserve it. Like we just didn't turn up to the game anywhere near enough.
One thing actually I did want to bring up, just because I thought it was really noteworthy. I obviously Sky picked up as well, but was nullifying Arsenal's corners. I was actually really happy with what we did.
Yeah.
Just
How you scored from one?
we did score from one, but it was more when they had them. I thought Bob showed he's getting better.
He really is. Yeah, he looks a lot more assured.
But it was like I was just watching Delap walk up, Neto walk up, Garnacho walk up, and then all of Arsenal's players dropped, and suddenly you had this corner where like barely anyone's in the box.
Yeah,
really
I mean,
weird to see.
they were missing their biggest threats. I also thought Havertz is very good from corners.
Yeah, he's the most underrated. He's 6'4".
Yeah.
People underrate
Gabriel.
like him and Big Gabby, and then second half as well. We took off. Because we got 3 Gabbies, so you've got to quantify them. And
Big Gabby, little Gabby, and
Injured
Gabby. Yeah. But with him and Havertz, and then second half we took off Calafiori for Miles Lewis-Skelly, which is a big difference height-wise. I think that probably cost us on the corner that we conceded.
Yeah.
It was
brilliant header from. So there's been a little bit of chat after the game about that goal being offside. What do you make of that? Because apparently Enzo was stood in. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Enzo was stood in offside position apparently, and then obviously got involved in the goal. Didn't touch the ball.
He was getting held by Mascara.
So
I thought Mascara wrestled it.
He did go to play the ball. I'd never want to fight Arsenal's case, but it's one of those. I'd hate to see a goal disallowed.
This was going to be my
And I was going to say, if you want a goal disallowed for that, fair enough.
There's no definitive proof that he was offside. There's a camera angle where he looks offside, but there were no lines drawn. There's no
That's the concerning thing for me.
Yeah,
is that because I'm not convinced VAR actually picked up on the entire scenario itself. The fact that Chalobah flicked it on, and when he did, Enzo was theoretically maybe in an offside position. So. Yeah, like it's one of them. Like maybe it turns out letter of the law he was offside. There's 2 things with it. Firstly, on a consistent level, I don't want goals like that ruled out. I didn't want Van Dijk's goal ruled out. I didn't want Eze's goal. Like I just don't think you should be ruling goals out for that when you think it was probably going in anyway.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's one of them. You can't come out after a game where you've performed like that and complain about
that wasn't the issue.
Decision like that. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. We'll wait and see.